Hi everyone, this is Susan Held, or more informally known as Miss Susan. I work for the Helena School District after school program in Montana and in the capital city. So I'm here to show you about our little watershed project that we developed over the summer and through the past school year. This was funded by the Soil and Water Conservation Districts of Montana, and our program received $3,000 to build a watershed of the Helena Valley, and that so that it would show how spring runoff works, how aquifers or groundwater works. And so the children in the program made all the mountains. They built the features, and they painted on the major creeks that run through the Helena Valley and into Lake Helena, which is the name of our watershed here. It's the Lake Helena watershed. We are a high mountain valley in the Rocky Mountains, but we're on the west side of the divide. We're on the east side of the divide. So our waters run into the Missouri River and then on into the Mississippi River. If you're on the west side of the divide, which is about 20 miles over the Rocky Mountain range, then the waters on that side run into the Pacific Ocean. So there's the difference. So I'm just going to show you a little bit right here about our watershed. So this is the borders of our watershed, and here's our valley. We have Prickly Pear Creek, which comes out of the mountains to our west and runs through the valley all the way past through East Helena, where I live, and on into Lake Helena, which is our collection point. We have 10 Mile Creek, which comes out of the mountains to the southwest and runs through the valley and joins Prickly Pear Creek here and then on into Lake Helena. We have 7 Mile, Silver, and we have Lump Gulch, plus a bunch of other little creeks and waterways that go through our valley. But they all empty into Lake Helena because our valley drains that way. It drains to the northeast. And then through this causeway and in through this canyon, it flows into the Missouri River, slightly below our Canyon Ferry Reservoir. So that's a little bit about our watershed and how it developed and how it comes through our valley. My purpose today is just going to be to show you how our little watershed works and show you how a normal spring runoff would work. So not a lot of snowpack, not a lot of rain in the early spring months, and not a lot of high temperatures. So temperatures that are abnormally high during the spring months that would melt our snowpack and have it all come out of the mountains at the same time. Because when that happens, our valley has a tendency to flood. So you might want to check on your very own watershed and see what your local watershed is, where your watershed flows into, where it empties, which body of water it empties into, and how you can also prevent spring flooding or keeping pollutants out of the water during spring runoff time. So I'm just going to start it up. This is just an under the bed little container that I found, and so we needed a reservoir to pump the water out, and it's got a little water feature pump. And then, of course, the children designed the top of it. It comes off easily to drain it or whatever we need to do. So I'm just going to show it to you now how we started out with regular spring runoff so that it's not flooding our little valley. So here comes the water, and this is just regular spring runoff going through our valley. And it's not going to flood out anything. It's just going to go drain out into the valley. All right. So that's how we show children how the spring runoff, if it's coming down normally through the valley. If it's not coming down normally through the valley, then that will be the next thing that I show you in our next session. And that will flood out parts of the valley where the floodplain is. And I'll also show you the pollutants that can get into the water. Those are called non-source point pollutants because we don't know where they come from. They could be coming from the urban city streets. They could be coming from farm land. They could be coming from industrial areas. They could be coming from your own yard and garden. And those are pollutants that the spring runoff picks up if there's a big storm or we have the storm water coming through our urban areas. So that's what I'll show you next. All right. Goodbye for the day.